Hello, Internet! Shoutthis here, and it's time for another episode of ShoutStone. I am going to be bringing you another Shoutcast from the Hearthstone Beta, but first I did want to make a quick announcement just in case you haven't seen it, either posted to the feed on this channel or to any of our social media, which would be either facebook.com/shoutstone or our brand new Twitter page, which is twitter.com/shoutstoneshow. You can go there, follow us there, and you get all the latest updates. But the reason I wanted to bring this to your attention is that starting next week, we are going to be having a brand new season of Arena Time, but it will no longer be starring my failing abilities at the arena. It will be featuring perhaps the best arena player in the world, Trump. One of the best Hearthstone players in the world, period, as well. Trump will be the new star of Arena Time, and we will follow his progress through the arena as he dominates and destroys, and you'll see some really high-level play from one of the best players ever in the game thus far. Obviously, it's young, but still, it's going to be super exciting. You get to actually see some arena wins, some full arena wins, some Grandmaster play, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you to Trump for allowing us to do this, and I hope you enjoy these games as they start to go live. You'll see them more than once a week now, because I have a lot of games of Trumps to go through. So stay tuned for that starting next week. It's going to be super fun. But anyway, let's get into the game right now. This was provided to me by a user named BehemothDan, and I have a couple of his games, but let's jump into the action right now. It is Anduin versus Gul'dan. BehemothDan playing the part of the Priest Anduin, and Hardcore playing the part of Gul'dan the Warlock. So I do have a couple things I wanted to talk about as we're getting set up here. One of the things that was brought to my attention by some people is that they didn't like the fact that they couldn't hear in-game audio on some of these games. Problem is that the games that I get are generally pulled from streams, and a lot of them have background audio or commentary and things like that, which wouldn't work really well to shoutcasting. So in that case, I'm kind of having to force to remove that audio and replace it with my own stuff. So that's the case. But you do get my melodic voice, and you get the lovely Hearthstone music in the background here. But in any event, let's get into the game here. And I'm going to try to explain these cards a little bit more per request so that people understand what's going on. So one of the cards that got dropped into play there was the Blood Imp. That's that 1/1 minion with stealth. It provides +1 health to all other minions on the opponent's field. So as you can see, he does have that Novice Engineer, which dropped into play. It let him draw an extra card, and it's got +1 HP at this point. So that's a very valuable minion. And on the opposing side, BehemothDan did play that Dalaran Mage, which is a +1 spell power 2/4 minion. It's a very sturdy little minion, and it's great for a spell-heavy deck. And keep in mind, spell power is great because it works for anything, really. It works for any ability. Alright, so Mass Dispel being dropped into play, and that will silence that Blood Imp, and it'll silence everything else on the opposing side of the field as well. Mass Dispel being an AoE effect is not avoidable by stealth. So that's why that Blood Imp was tagged by it and is now basically useless as a 1/1 minion with no other benefit to give. So he'll probably just keep using that to deal a quick point of damage here and there until it's destroyed, and I'm sure it'll be destroyed at some point. That Gadgetzan Auctioneer gets thrown onto the field. Now we're kind of waiting to see exactly how he wants to respond. So he does have that Spell Power card on the play, and that's why you can see when he mouses over an ability card that it does have an extra point of damage, and it's highlighted by a couple of little asterisks there. So like we saw there, field is clear again. Holy Nova Drop did 3 points of damage across the field, and then a quick minion trade to keep the field clear. Now it's back to Hardcore, who's going to drop a Booty Bay Bodyguard, which is a 5/4 minion with Taunt. We're going to have to see how he wants to respond. I'm going to drop that Chillwind Yeti, which is a really nice card. I know we don't talk super highly about these kinds of cards. The Sun Fury Protector going to come down and give that minion Taunt. That gives all other minions on the field Taunt, so that makes it a pretty nice play. It can be countered, but it's still a really nice play to start with here. Alright, a Spellbreaker going to come in, get rid of that silence effect, and he's going to start clearing the field out. So he takes out that Protector. Now the Spellbreaker is just a little more expensive version of the Ironbeak Owl. It has a silence effect, and it's good for a little more mid-game play. So between that and the Ironbeak Owl, you get some really solid stuff. Alright, so minions being cleared left and right. Looks like that Yeti is going to be healed back up. But anyway, yeah, speaking of the Yeti, we usually don't talk very highly about minions that have no benefit, like no extra power. But the Chillwind Yeti is actually a really solid card. For the cost and for the benefit of it and for the ability to play off of it, it's actually really nice. But it is shut down with the Shadow Bolts, and here comes the Harvest Golem. I really like the Harvest Golem. Its Death Rattle is that it spawns a 2/1 minion, and I'm all about minions that give you minions, even if it means that they die. Alright, so Defender of Argus drops down. That's going to give that minion Taunt plus a buff to its attack and HP. Alright, so the Golem is taken out, and there is its replacement. Its little mini Death Rattle 2/1 replacement. But now he is staring at a 3/5 taunt minion, and it's not going to be fun to try to deal with that. But here comes Gelbin Mekatork, a card that you saw in a lot of decks because of, Alright, he's going to drop Power Overwhelming on that Golem, and he's going to use it to clear the taunt minion, and it will die. It'll die anyway, but it died there. Yeah, Gelbin Mekatork, I'm not entirely sold on that card. It's so up to chance, and most of the time the card that it plays is beneficial to your opponent and not to you. So I don't really care for it. It's a neat little card to have, and obviously you can only get the gold version of the legendary if you purchase something in the in-game store during the beta. Oh, and a great use of that Iron Beak will silence Malygos, which is a +4 spell power. Now he's dropped that Fairy Dragon in play. The Fairy Dragon can't be targeted by hero abilities or spells, so only minions can take it out. And that's really, really useful to have those kinds of things in play, because it may even force your opponent to do minion trades that you don't want them to do. And another Defender of Argus on the field gives both Gelbin Mekatork and the Iron Beak Owl taunt and +1 to their attack and damage. So now Gelbin Mekatork is a little bit more of a considerable threat. Is he still a valuable card? No, I don't really think he is. But Malygos can start to worry him down, and a Holy Nova to take most of them out. And you can use that Defender of Argus to take out Gelbin Mekatork, and he does. He trades it off. And so far, the game's still looking very, very middle of the road here. We're not seeing a whole lot of distinction one way or the other at this point. Pretty good removal plays being dropped by BehemothDan here. He's keeping the field clear, and it's nice to have a removal deck in place just to try to keep your opponent's minions at bay. But Hardcore does have some pretty good control, at least in the sense of repeated silences and kind of nullifying these beneficial effects that are probably more problematic. But alright, Darkscale Healer comes out. That's going to give a little bit of HP all around. He's going to heal back up that minion. And that's, again, this is what the Priest deck's about. It's about keeping everything alive. He's going to drop that Sunfury Protector. That'll give taunt to the rest of the minions on the field. That's really handy for that Malygos card, which is right now utterly worthless. I mean, I guess it's worthless from the sense of its actual benefit, which is +5 spell power, which makes it a really, really nice legendary for a spell-heavy deck. But another Harvest Golem. I'm eager to see kind of what happens here and what options Gul'dan has. He's going to have to play Shadow Bolt on that Darkscale Healer. It will not be enough to kill it. I don't know if that was exactly the play he wanted to do, but that's the play he has. He's going to silence the Death Rattle effect on that Harvest Golem. And going to take it out with Malygos. And now it's time to deal some more damage to the hero player. Alright, so at this point, things are starting to look very much in the favor of BehemothDan. Oh, and a great play. Taunt minion with Divine Shield, 4/5. It's a 6-drop, so it's a little expensive, but because it has that Divine Shield, it more than makes up for the cost versus its actual statistics. So I can't recommend it any higher, because it's just a really nice card. Ooh, that's a risky life tap. That's a super risky life tap. When you get into this area of HP, like when you get below 15, when you cross that halfway threshold, life taps are really risky plays, but I guess that's what he needed. Well, he's going to drop a Molten Giant, 2 Molten Giants. Hello. And a Soulfire, which is going to cost him his big Game Hunter. That's probably not too bad. He's going to drop Shadow Flame, and that's a great move there. What an excellent play. He played Shadow Flame, which deals a minion's attack. It destroys a minion, and it uses its attack to deal its damage to all other minions on the field. and all other things, and that's 8 damage that it dealt. But now, BehemothDan has played Mind Control to steal that Molten Giant away from Hardcore. So this is just good plays. Oh, and another life tap. What is he doing? Oh, that's not the right move here. Oh, that's not what he should have done at all. And he has to concede. That was just a bad play. He could have lasted one more turn if he didn't pop his life tap. But yeah, unfortunately that was it. He may have been at the end of the line anyway, but yeah, he put himself in danger at that point. So, alright, there you have it. That is going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone. Don't forget, starting next week, Trump in the arena on Arena Time. The best arena player, the best Hearthstone player in the world is going to be on ShoutStone for the foreseeable future. And it's going to be awesome, and I really hope you watch his games, because you will see the master at work, I guarantee you. And if you want to watch his stream, and I highly recommend it, it is twitch.tv/TrumpSC. Watch him play. It is unbelievable. But that is going to do it for this episode of ShoutStone. I will be back tomorrow with more. I apologize that I missed Saturday. I didn't really miss Saturday. I just was getting a lot of the games from Trump's channel, and it kind of bogged down my computer and working and all that stuff. Whatever. Doesn't matter. No excuses. I'll be back tomorrow with more. And don't forget, Arena Time. So thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe for daily updates. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links are in the description below. And I will see you all next time.